All right, brew tubers. Here we are, the telltale heartbeat of living yeast. Yeah. So, anyways, this is the final installment of my brew day of the ESB, the Fuller's clone. It is chugging away, really good. It's been about 24 hours. Probably no more than that because it's about 24 hours since I pitched the yeast. That's probably true. Yeah, it's chugging away really good. Let's see temperature. What does the temperature say? We're right around 68. Yeah. You see it's flocculating like mad. But yeah, turned out really good, I think. Learned a lot of things. Did a lot of playing it by ear and calling an audible here and there during the brew day. In fact, I had part four of the brew day was actually I had to take it down off YouTube. Fortunately, nobody looked at it yet because I saw a glaring issue with it. What I didn't even do, I didn't even tell you what the recipe was. It's in the title, of course. It's a Fuller's ESB clone. But I didn't really talk about it. I ended up going with the one from the American Homebrewers Association, their clone. I wanted to put a shout out and a thanks to Renee Kostrokin and Steamed Beach. For both of them, I got a lot of comments on the when I asked about it on the BrewTuber Facebook page, suggestions on where to find a good Fuller's ESB clone. Renee, I think, pointed me to Graham Wheeler's book, which I don't have. And I couldn't really find a thing of it online. They all seem pretty similar, all the ESB clones, but I did see some variations. That's why I asked for help. But I ended up going with this. Let's see if I can put this on. I got my light on, so it's. But yeah, so this is the gist of the American Homebrewer Association one. You can look that up online. Thing though is that we did Northdown hops. My homebrew shop didn't have it, so I looked up what substitutions was, and they said either Northern Brewer or Challenger. They were out of Northern Brewer; they'd sold out of that, and so when I went and got my Challenger, I bought it in an ounce, and I just used the whole ounce and just split it up for that. And as far as you know what, I also ended up dry hopping a full ounce of Goldings, and I did that that's a whole other story. I think I talked about it. Yeah, sorry, this is a day later, so I don't remember everything I talked about. But yeah, I did it at 150 degrees when I racked it into this. So I racked it really warm, and I did that dry hop really warm. It was kind of like the idea of doing a hop, a hop stand. Other thing is that I went with, for yeast, I went with SO4. I thought I wrote that down somewhere. Oh, right there. SO4 instead of the liquid yeast. And mainly I did that for this reason right here. The Fermentus dry yeast just seem to really take off when you let them go, when you pitch them, and so by the next day they're really cranking away and they'll ferment out. Seems to be really fast, 2-3 days. And this I kind of wanted to do a fast turnaround. So this will let me I guess what I like to do is let the primary go like mad. Until it stops, until it has that initial very vigorous fermentation, and then it kind of settles down. And then at about that time, I'll rack it over into secondary, and then I'll just let it clear out because I know it's not really necessary. But I don't know. I kind of like when it comes to back in the days of bottling, you didn't have to mess with as much trub in the bottom. If you do that, it clears it up a little bit. And as I said before, I'm not a huge clear beer guy, but it's nice when it is. So that's what I got going on, guys. Thanks for watching. Whether you watched it bit by bit as I did it, or if you look it over, and my goal is to maybe edit this all together into one video, kind of a start to finish, maybe even a grain to glass if I wait until I taste this taste this stuff, and I'll do it that way. And good thing about doing a beer I can get my hands on is that I can buy a Fuller's ESB and test them side by side. Even though I'm not really expecting this to taste anything like the real thing because of my hop changes and other issues I had. So then here, okay, so I'll leave you with this final question. If you want to put it in the comments below, what do you think? How much of a beer recipe do you need to change for you to call it your own, quote unquote, to rename it, whatever? Like, this is obviously the recipe is a Fuller's ESB clone. But I mean, if I do, if I change the grain bill, if I change the hops, if I change the hop schedule, at a certain point it becomes a different beer, and I could call it Marv's ESB. So I guess give me your thoughts on that. How much do you need to change a recipe to call it your own? Or if you want to enter it in competition, like say, like I did that Mostly Ghostly. I took that recipe and modified it for a local competition here. I didn't win, of course, but if I would have, it's like, well, how much do you say? Well, it's this isn't my recipe. It's just one I like. So anyways, thoughts on that? Like and subscribe if you can. All right, thanks a lot. I'll catch you on YouTube. 17. Oh, Happy New Year, everybody. This is New Year's Eve. I'm recording this, so Happy New Year, happy 2018.